Here are the top stories for today, July 2, 2019. Indigenous peoples are reaching out to the international community as they speak up against the atrocities of the communist movement. The Justice Department warned Kapa members to stop soliciting or face arrest. The DILG will probe former Cebu City Mayor Tomas Osmeña for vacating and stripping bare the mayor's office before stepping down. And an educational institution in Spain offers courses to raise the status of Filipinos in their country.
Good day, I'm Bench Bondok. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Our starting point, Indigenous peoples are reaching out to the international community as they speak up against the atrocities of the communist movement. The government is giving them a louder voice through the Duterte administration's executive order aiming to stop insurgency. Here's our report.
With the atrocities committed by communist terrorist organizations in conflict-torn Mindanao, silence is no longer an option for the indigenous peoples. President Rodrigo Duterte's move to form a national task force to help end the decades-old communist insurgency paved the way for the tribal leaders' voices to be heard. Duterte's creation of the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict is contained in Executive Order No. 70, which institutionalizes a whole-of-nation approach in attaining an inclusive and sustainable peace. On Saturday, Shari Balinan shared before Filipinos in New York City how the Communist Party of the Philippines, New People's Army, and National Democratic Front of the Philippines exploited IP communities and killed and abused Lumuads in the country. Balinan is the leader of the Ata tribe in Davao City.
Sa mga kababayan natin, ng mga Pilipino na nandito, tulungan niyo po kami. Hindi namin alam baka pagbalik namin, may nakaabang na sa amin. Para po sa lahat ng mga kagaya ko, gagawin po namin ito.
The delegation, which includes former NPA child warrior Dato Awing, Maraan Apuga, and IP teacher and community organizer Joel Dahusay, is calling on the U.S. government, United Nations, and various international organizations to help get rid of the communist terrorist groups in the country. Filipino organizations and community groups in the U.S. are welcoming the IPs with open arms, providing platforms for them to raise their voices on their plight back home. Presidential Communications Operations Office Undersecretary Lorraine Marie Badoy called on Filipinos to be courageous in letting the world know of the true issues confronting tribal communities in the Philippines. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Gigi Arcilia Agtay.
In other news, the National Capital Region Police Office, or NCRPO, has downgraded its status from full to heightened alert after validation and consultation with other law enforcement agencies and military units. The NCRPO went on full alert following the June 28 blast that rocked the town of Indanan in Sulu, killing 3 soldiers and wounding 9 others. NCRPO Director Major General Guillermo Eleazar says the mobilization of police personnel would continue as intelligence operations have been intensified to foil any possible terror plans. He added that while there is no monitored threat over the national capital, the police will remain proactive and dedicated to ensure public order and safety 24/7. Eleazar further explained that the difference between full and heightened alerts is only minimal. He also reminded the public to remain vigilant and to report any suspicious person or activity to the nearest police station. Senate President Vicente Soto III on Monday filed 10 of his pet bills for the upcoming 18th Congress. Among the notable bills Soto filed is Senate Bill No. 10, which seeks to require employers in the private sector to give 14th month pay. He also filed the Anti-False Content Bill, which seeks to prohibit and prevent the publication and spread of false content on the internet. Soto also refiled the bill seeking to lower the minimum age of criminal liability from 15 to 12 years old. He is also pushing for a bill providing medical scholarships in state universities and colleges. Other bills include the Anti-Drug Penal Institution Bill, Presidential Drug Enforcement Authority Bill, Dangerous Drugs Court Bill, Prevention of Terrorism Bill, Hybrid Election Bill, and a bill increasing the penalty for perjury. Soto is the first among the senators to file his bills for the new Congress 3 weeks ahead of its opening on July 22. Malacanang is predicting exciting times as it welcomed a new member of the cabinet, former Senator and now Department of Information and Communications Technology Secretary Gregorio Honasan II. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo expressed confidence that Honasan would perform his job as DICT Secretary well. He says Honasan has a wealth of experience not only as a senator for 21 years, but also in the military science, as a military officer for 16 years, and a military renegade for 7 years. Honasan also has a master's degree in management, which Panelo said will help him in his new role in the executive branch. The DICT's first phase of the fiber backbone for the National Broadband Plan is set to be completed early next year. It is also expecting the country's third telecommunications player, Mislatel Consortium, to receive its Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity by July 8 to allow the start of its operations. Honasan replaces Acting Secretary Eliseo Rio, who will return to his post as Undersecretary. Moving on to other stories, the Supreme Court has junked petitions to open and review the source codes in the vote counting machines used in the 2013 elections. Janice Cave reports.
The Supreme Court has turned down the petitions of Senator Richard Gordon, the Bagong Bayan NVP Movement Incorporated, and Tanggulang Demokrasya to compel the Commission on Elections to open and review the source code in the vote counting machines in the 2013 elections. The court dismissed the petition for being moot and academic as COMELEC modified the qualifications of source code review for the 2019 elections. The High Court likewise denied the motion to hold former COMELEC Chair Sixto Brillantes Jr. in contempt for lack of merit. It says the electronic transmission through the method promulgated by the COMELEC is valid under the law. Meanwhile, newly appointed Prosecutor General Benedicto Malcontento is expected to assume office as soon as he takes his oath by Tuesday. Justice Secretary Minardo Guevara said Malcontento will be directed to ensure prosecutors dispense justice for all and without bias. Malcontento replaces Prosecutor General Victor Sepulveda, who retired from the service 2 years ago. In other news, Angat Dam's water level increased past the critical level early this morning. Pagasa said the dam's water level reached 160.29 meters with an additional 0.44 centimeters from yesterday due to continuous rains. La Mesa Dam also reported an increase in water level to 72.23 meters but still below the normal elevation level of 80.15 meters. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Thousands of students are taking advantage of the free rides in the MRT and LRT2. How are students benefiting from the free rides? We asked them directly in today's Boses ng Masa.
Malaking tulong po kasi po halos lahat po ng mga estudyante is gumagamit ng LRT. Lalo po sa U-Belt.
Tingin ko po, opo. Lalo na po ako, everyday po ako nagko-commute eh. From Marikina pa po ako eh. Laking bagay po siya para sa aming mga estudyante.
Opo, kasi makakaipon nga din po ng extra money para sa mga students. Pwede nilang pambili to ng ibang gamit nila for school.
Siyempre makakabawas po siya sa mga gastusin namin as estudyante po. Malaking tulong din po talaga siya.
Actually, para sa akin po, nakatulong siya, pero usually for high school, junior high to senior high lang po. Kasi for college, usually mga college po, afternoon yung session nila hanggang gabi. So hindi po kami inaabutan ng libreng sakay. Wala naman po sigurong may ayaw dahil malaking tulong po yun, lalo na sa mga commuters po gaya ko.
Still to come, the Justice Department warned Kapa members to continue soliciting or face arrest. And the DILG will probe former Cebu City Mayor Tomas Osmeña for vacating and stripping bare the mayor's office before stepping down. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Mabuhay! Ako po si Director Vinci Beltran ng Presidential Communications Operations Office at naririto tayo ngayon sa Research and Training Institute ng National Radio and Television Administration dito sa Beijing, China. Dito ginaganap ang mga lecture series para sa China 30 program.
I am positive that you will gain friendship and new perspectives and push forward exchanges and shared development in the R&T sector during this three-week seminar and visiting events. Looking ahead, China is willing to continue to strengthen cooperation with the Philippines in the fields of news exchange, program production, technology R&D, industrial development and human resources construction to achieve win-win and common development.
Ang China ay nag-imbita ng 30 media practitioners mula sa Pilipinas upang maturuan ng kanilang kultura, kasaysayan at pamamaraan sa pamamahayag gamit ang makabagong teknolohiya.
Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara says Kapa's continued operations to get contributions may be considered a continuing offense since its officials are now facing charges for violation of the Securities Regulation Code. Guevara added that persons committing a continuing offense may be arrested by authorities without a warrant. On Monday, a Davao court has issued a travel ban against Kapa founder and president Pastor Joel Apolinario and other officials of the investment firm. State prosecutors have also subpoenaed Kapa officials to answer the criminal charges filed against them for violating RA 8799 or the Security Regulation Code following an alleged large-scale investment scam. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
The Philippine government has condemned the second attack on Abha International Airport last June 23 by Iranian-allied Houthi rebels based in Yemen. DFA Assistant Secretary Emmanuel Fernandez, in a statement on Monday night, also extended the Philippine government's sympathy to the family of the single fatality and well wishes for the speedy recovery of those injured. He also clarified that no Filipinos were injured in the attack. Before the attack on June 23, a missile launch from Yemen also targeted the same airport last June 12, injuring at least 26 people. Because of the continuous rise in tensions in the region, the government reiterated its call to all parties to exercise calm, patience, and restraint and to resolve difference through peaceful dialogue. In other news, Duty Free says it seeks to double its accredited manning agencies to attract more seafarers through its rewards program. To date, seafarers from 20 accredited manning agencies enjoy perks and exclusive discounts through Seafarer Shopping Privilege program. Aside from discount perks, Filipino seafarers are also covered in the livelihood program or the Kabuhayan Shopping Privilege tied up with the store's livelihood products. The Kabuhayan Shopping Privilege entitles OFWs who have gone back abroad to avail of duty and tax-exempt purchase worth $2,000 US. This is exclusive for livelihood equipment and within 15 calendar days from the date of arrival. On the sidelines of the home is where the Anchor Drops workshop for Filipino seafarers on Sunday. Duty-Free Philippines marketing head Malu Malabuyo said they are really working aggressively in partnering with more manning agencies as the contribution of OFWs accounts to 34% of their total packs. The Department of the Interior and Local Government will probe former Cebu City Mayor Tomas Osmeña for vacating and stripping bare the mayor's office before stepping down. DILG spokesperson Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya on Monday said an official may only remove movable items that are part of his personal property when he ends his term. However, removing even the floor and tiles is already in bad faith because it renders the office as unusable by his successor. The mayor's office has also been left without electricity and water. Osmeña claims that he paid personally for the improvements in the office. DILG Undersecretary Epimaco Densing III advised newly elected officials to file charges for destroying government properties and for failing to follow the proper transition of the office. Newly elected Cebu City Mayor Edgar Labella defeated Osmeña in the May 13 midterm elections. Labella said former Mayor Osmeña has committed an illegal and unethical act and refers the matter to the City Legal Office for appropriate action. Employees of the Baguio City Hall are ordered to smile and relax, and Iloilo City pushes for healthy lifestyle among its residents. More on this and other news from the provinces from Miguel Hill.
In Iloilo City, the National Nutrition Council is pushing for the full use of bike lanes and parks to promote a healthy lifestyle. The use of open facilities is also urged as the prevalence of being overweight and being obese among adolescents in the country is increasing. In Baguio City, Mayor Benjamin Magalong issued on his first working day a standing order for employees of the city government to smile and relax. Magalong also appealed for cooperation among city residents by doing small things that would not aggravate the problems of the city. Among them, the growing traffic problem, waste disposal woes, and environmental degradation issues. In Davao City, the Philippines' largest satellite tracking antenna is now fully operational. This tracking system is designed to communicate with Earth observation satellites, including the Philippines' very own Diwata 1 and Diwata 2 microsatellites, by receiving, processing, and distributing spaceborne imagery. The system is said to be very helpful in addressing challenges such as disasters. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
Up next, the Diocese of Cubao is seeking for more information on the life of Darwin Ramos, who has been declared as a servant of God. And an educational institution in Spain offers courses to raise the status of Filipinos in their country. Back after a quick break, stay with the PNA Newsroom.
This 2019 seminar of the Filipino media provides a platform for mutual understanding and respect. It also opened our eyes on the realities in China na napaka-progresibo palang bansa ng China.
Ideas and experiences towards mutual development.
Stories
building and development services.
News and information exchange, lalo na
Dito po nagtatapos ang 2019 Seminar for Media Reporters of the Philippines dito sa China. Lubos ang aming pasasalamat sa China sa kanilang pagbabahagi ng kanilang kaalaman sa komunikasyon at pamamahayag, pati na rin sa kanilang napakayamang kultura.
The Diocese of Cubao on Monday is seeking for more information on the life of Darwin Ramos, who has been declared as a servant of God. Cubao Bishop Onesto Ong Choco urged the people who have information about the life of the boy to give them a copy of such documents. Ong Choco noted that they want to gather as many information on the life and faith of Ramos. Last March 29, the Vatican declared Ramos as servant of God, which is the preliminary step towards sainthood. Ramos was born in the slums of Pasay City. He and his younger sister scavenged on the streets to help their poor family. At 7, Ramos was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. In 2006, Ramos was rescued by Tulay ng Kabataan. From there, he discovered the Catholic faith and received the sacraments of baptism and confirmation. Ong Tioco said Ramos's personal relationship with God deepened along with the deterioration of his body. He died at the Philippine Children's Medical Center on September 23, 2012 at the age of 17. Moving to world headlines, 3 sites in Thailand are being considered as World Heritage Sites. The 3 sites include Sitep Historical Park, the Ensam of Panom Rung, Muang Tam, and Plaibat Sanctuaries in Buriram Province, and Kaing Kratchan National Park. Sitep Historical Park encompasses an ancient city that played an important role in the exchange of culture and trade in Southeast Asia. Panong Room, Muang Tam, and Plaibat Sanctuaries in Buriram Province are a unique complex of Angkorian structures. Kaing Kratchan National Park has ecological ties with Tung Yai Nareswan and Waika Kaeng Wildlife Sanctuary in Thailand. The 43rd session of the World Heritage Committee is being held in Baku, Azerbaijan until July 10. Moving to some sports action, the Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas or SBP vows to support AJ Edu's road to recovery from a suspected anterior cruciate ligament injury. Edu hurt his knee while going for a layup at the Gilas Pilipinas Youth's FIBA U19 World Cup game against host country Greece early Sunday. Edu's absence weakened the team, which eventually lost 85-69. SBP expressed its support for Edu's efforts for recovery. SBP President Al Panlilio said the national team stands with him as he focuses on his condition. Aside from knee injury, Edu also tore his meniscus and had a fracture in his femur. Recovery period for an ACL tear usually lasts for 6 to 9 months. With the said time frame, it is likely that Edu will sit out the upcoming US NCAA season as well for Toledo University. And before we go, Spain may have conquered the Philippines centuries ago, but now it is one of its partners in fostering educational development. In fact, an educational institution in Spain offers courses to raise the status of Filipinos in their country. Janice Cave has their stories.
Filipino professionals who choose to work in Europe often end up taking dirty, dangerous, and low-paying jobs. Aside from incompatibility with diploma-based educational system, European employers prefer job applicants who speak their language. With the betterment and welfare of Filipino migrants in mind, Dr. Liz Soliday Nawi established International School for Applied Social Sciences, or ISAS. It is the first Filipino international school in Barcelona, Spain. ISAS offers diploma and degree courses in partnership with different educational institutions in Europe and Asia through a problem-based curriculum and blended learning strategy. Enrollees can take international studies, international business management, and international service management. Now we advised learners to take language proficiency as well in order to pursue a better career. By being more involved in community affairs, Filipinos can transition from being house helpers to entrepreneurs of even someone with a higher position. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
And now let's check out our weather update from Pagasa. Monsoon rains will be experienced over Zambales, Bataan, Occidental Mindoro, and Northern Palawan due to the southwest monsoon, while light to moderate rains may prevail over Metro Manila, Cavite, Batangas, Pampanga, rest of Mindoro, and of Palawan. Residents in these areas, especially those living in areas identified to be at high risk of flooding and landslides, are advised to continue monitoring for updates, take precautionary measures, and coordinate with their local government and disaster risk reduction and management offices. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories.
Indigenous peoples are reaching out to the international community as they speak up against the atrocities of the communist movement. The Justice Department warned Kapa members to stop soliciting or face arrest. The DILG will probe former Cebu City Mayor Tomas Osmeña for vacating and stripping bare the mayor's office before stepping down. And an educational institution in Spain offers courses to raise the status of Filipinos in their country.
Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Bench Bondok. Good day.